Hello, this is Midday News. Thanks for joining us. A fun-filled 2 weeks Christmas summer camp enabled children and young people of Mary Help of Christian Parish, Sabama, prepare spiritually for Christmas. The camp opened every morning at 8:30 a.m. and concluded at 12:30 p.m. It ran from the 11th to the 22nd of December at Don Bosco Technical School, Gabutu. 60 young participants from Sabama, Gabutu, Badili, and Serokone attended. Objectives of the camp were to understand the spirit of Christmas and spiritually prepare for the birth of Christ, engage in a variety of educational and artistic activities that allow children to use their imaginations, creativity, and express ideas through a variety of mediums, and enjoy social interaction through group activities in a spirit of healthy competition. Every day had a variety of activities. After morning prayer, Brother Philip would commence mathematics for a class of nearly 40 students, while the little ones did the same under the direction of Kevin Moiron, or Georgina. This was followed by creative arts. Young, energetic, creative, and talented participants soon emerged. Stars and decorations were made while songs were rehearsed to stage a Christmas play. Work has recommenced on the construction of the 12 million Kina Mosby South District Hospital, with a 3 million complete fit-out equivalent to that of an international hospital. Mosby South MP Justin Kachenko said the hospital is expected to be completed by July with no further delays. Kachenko said the project, which was planned for completion by December last year, was stopped due to a court order by the landowners from Mahuru village disputing the land on which the hospital was being constructed. He said recently NCDC and Mosby South won the court case, therefore construction has recommenced. There is an ever-increasing need to bring those who are lost, especially in the local communities, into the church, to maintain and increase the commitment of those already in church. This requires vibrant parish leadership. Leaders from the various Liklik Christian community of Mary Help of Christians Parish, Sabama, along with its outstations, Serokone, Pari and Gabutu, and their various devotional group leaders, last December held their first ever leadership retreat at Sivarai Namona Pastoral Center, Bomana. Sessions for the 2-day retreat aligned with the theme Yeast in the Living. The participants were encouraged to reflect and realign their hearts with God. The second session, entitled A Vibrant Parish, was facilitated by Karik Rafael Gobi from Sabama. He emphasized the importance of individuals loving God. The third session, on the following day, featured Grace Rakia. Grace stressed the Holy Spirit's role as the center of the mission as Christians and the need for leaders to be listeners. She stated that a servant leader is a listening leader, and being a leader is a responsibility, not a privilege. At the program's conclusion, participants in their respective groups elected their leaders for the new year. Father Ambrose Pereira, who was the lead facilitator of the retreat, congratulated everyone for electing credible leaders committed to working in their Liklik Christian community in parish in 2024. The Minister for Internal Security, Peter Siamalili Jr., said that there will be no tolerance of misconduct or cover-ups with the police force. Siamalili said those found guilty for misconduct in the police force will not only be dismissed from the force but arrested and charged with criminal offenses. He was responding recent reports of the arrest of 116 former police officers last year, where 74 are now facing discipline-related charges. He said if a member of the Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary commits a crime, they will be arrested, prosecuted, and subsequently discharged from the police force. This includes crimes such as assault, family and sexual violence, corruption, theft, public drinking, and the use of illegal drugs. In regional news, it's believed human error could have been one of the main factors in the fatal plane crash at Tokyo's Haneda Airport. Transcripts of air traffic communications show a passenger jet had been cleared to land when it collided with a Coast Guard plane that had not yet received permission to be on the runway.
The charred fuselage of Flight 516. Every piece, each fragment analysed for clues. Critical to understanding how two planes could collide at one of the world's busiest airports. Air traffic control communications have been released showing the Japan Airlines flight had been cleared to land. Moments later, the Coast Guard pilot was told to taxi to holding point.
I think the cause of this accident was not a mechanical issue from the aircraft. It was a human error.
Nothing in the transcript suggests the smaller Dash 8 plane was approved to go onto the runway, which leaves the question as to why it was there.
I think the pilot of the Japan Coast Guard plane misunderstood something he heard.
Sadly, part of this disaster could be due to miscommunication. The captain of the Coast Guard plane said he did have permission to enter the runway, but a Coast Guard official has acknowledged there's no indication he was cleared to do so. 6 people were on board that plane, 5 died in the collision, the pilot the only survivor, although he's been badly injured.
Residents in southeast Queensland are continuing to clean up after being hit by back-to-back natural disasters. The damage bill is rising and will likely run into the billions of dollars. With thousands of homes still without power, the Army today arrived to help clearing trees and removing debris.
Kitted up and ready to help. 11 days since wild weather lashed southeast Queensland, reinforcements have arrived. A convoy of high clearance trucks rolled in, 33 soldiers on board.
We are hoping we'll have another 20 people on the ground from tomorrow. That will get us up to 50 people on the ground for up to 7 days.
We're so glad to have you.
No, we're happy to be.
It's making a huge difference.
This is ground zero and residents are at breaking point. Exhausted from cleaning up since a freak tornado tore through, the initial shock has worn off. Their grief is turning to frustration. Tammy Fogarty's Wongawallan home was obliterated on Christmas and then drenched with 400 millimetres of rain. Her home of 30 years is now unlivable, but has already been looted, so she's now sleeping in a camper van out the front.
I feel like we've been forgotten. We're one of the worst affected suburbs on the Gold Coast, but we've been forgotten.
At Springbrook National Park, this is where that New Year's Day downpour went. 6,000 customers, including most of Tamborine Mountain, are still powerless and patience is wearing thin. The Premier also getting his hands dirty.
95% of homes that lost their electricity have now been reconnected in what has been a mammoth effort by our energy workers.
The most important thing now is manpower and heavy machinery. The Army have both. They're helping clear the last of the debris so Energex crews can get in and finish the job. The scale of this weather event is becoming clearer. Across the Gold Coast, Logan and Scenic Rim, 917 properties have been damaged, including 132 homes severely and 8 destroyed. Nearly 76,000 people have applied for emergency assistance payments and 25,000 insurance claims have been lodged, but those numbers are climbing every day.
This is a significant number of claims and it probably highlights the ferocity of the storms. We'll get a better idea of the average claim cost in the next couple of weeks as assessors report back to us.
A 22-year-old woman is in hospital after getting an electrical shock from a lightning strike in the Blue Mountains. It's believed she was part of a group of tourists caught in a freak storm near the popular Echo Point lookout.
Storms rolling in over the Three Sisters. A milder scene than the thundering skies over the tourist site yesterday.
By the time our weather alerts were pinging in our pockets, the storm was already upon us.
2 tourists were holding a metal railing when it was struck by a lightning bolt in the afternoon.
They were coming up the staircase. The women at the wrong time were holding onto the metal guide rail and were electrocuted as a result of a lightning strike further down the guide rail.
They were able to walk back to a visitors centre where staff raised the alarm.
One of the women, I understand, had visible burns. Our staff immediately alerted emergency services and the 2 women were taken to Katoomba Hospital.
One of the women, a 22-year-old, remains in hospital in a stable condition.
Tourists have returned to this popular site, but there could be more storms on the way. Authorities say it's a cautionary tale for those caught in wild weather.
So our urging to people is to be cautious, be mindful, look for the weather alerts. It's about being careful, being sensible and understanding that you are on the edge of wilderness.
Starting to rain now, but we'll see what happens. I think it's going to rain hard.
We are headed for Bathurst, so hopefully missing majority of it.
More wild weather to watch out for as a stormy summer continues.
In sports, the West Tigers are set to announce another big signing in the coming days, with Storm center Justin Olam reportedly agreeing on a deal. The Tigers got their main off-season target in Jerome Luai on a 5-year deal from 2025. And according to the Daily Telegraph, Olam will also be heading to Concord.
It has been reported that Olam only needs to pass a fitness test in the coming days and he'll be a Tiger immediately, with the Storm willing to accommodate the PNG International's move and release him from his contract 3 years early. Having fallen out of favour at the Storm, Olam has been linked with the Tigers for quite some time now. The other name that has been in the discussions of an Olam to Tiger swap is emerging forward Sean Bloor, who last month reportedly agreed to a deal with the Storm from 2025. It is expected that the Tigers will allow Bloor to head to the Storm immediately in what will essentially be a straight swap for Olam. The Tigers' move gives Olam a chance for a fresh start at another club, given he was in and out of the Storm side last season and spent time in the Queensland Cup. At his best, the 30-year-old Olam would add plenty of punch to a Tigers backline in dire need of some spark in attack. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
And that ends Midday News. More to come at 6 p.m. Bye now.